Hello, my name is Aryan Chaudhary. I work at TLG, and today I'll be detailing you on instructing others on how to set up an email account for the first time. Setting up an email can be a long and tedious task if done incorrectly, especially with the amount of steps involved. It can be confusing and leave someone attempting it for the first time lost and full of questions. The goal of this tutorial is to help understand how to teach someone to go about creating an email for the first time and what to expect. To start, email setups require working knowledge on how to fill out forms electronically with the correct inputs of information, while also knowing niche details such as memorable usernames and strong passwords. Email setup sites, which in this case being Gmail, usually do a good job at showing essential amount of information regarding these steps. However, confusion can always happen. Therefore, it's important to be ready to answer and clarify a student or learner's questions whenever asked. An email account can be created on different platforms such as Outlook, Yahoo, Gmail, and other institutions with their own built-in domains. Today, we will specifically be talking about Gmail due to its accessibility, consistency, and usage in TLG. When beginning to create an email for the first time, you are directed to this page. This is the first part of the form for creating a Gmail account. Once this information is filled in, you can continue on to the next part, and then once all information is filled in, your account is then created. During this video, we will go through the exact steps of creating the Gmail account by inputting all the information and what the screen looks like after. To start, the person attempting to create a Gmail account will need to have certain pieces of information to begin filling out the form. They are essentially inputting the information that pertains to them and doing so throughout the entire sign-up process. This information includes, but is not limited to, name, address, date of birth, occupation, phone number, and etc. So to start, you begin inputting your first and last name. For this video, we'll be creating an example account, but for you, you would just personally add whatever you would like. So you start by adding your first name, start by adding your last name, then you add your username. Once that is done, you then add a password of your choice. You then confirm the password on the box right next to it. And then you'd click next. It is your job as an instructor to not only ensure the individual knows how to correctly input this information, but also understand how to begin signing up for new things. By explaining to them the whole process of signing up, such as what and why the information is needed, they can be prepared in the future if they're signing up for something else. Once they go through the process once, they can be assured that what was once thought to be confusing can be solved by slowly going through the form and understanding what sites they can trust with their information. It is important to let learners and students know that they should only trust secure, well-known, or government sites with their personal information. As mentioned earlier, there's some niche details such as username and passwords that are necessary to know when creating an account. Having a memorable username and strong password are the backbone to your account and ultimately determines accessibility to the account. Depending on what your email is being used for, certain names are and are not appropriate. However, generally speaking, something that includes your name, some symbols, is usually the best, only because it works well for most purposes, but also because it is memorable. For this example video, we have TLG Training Vids as the username. This is not only clean and professional looking, it is also fairly memorable. For passwords, having a strong password is always important, but making sure you can remember the password is also necessary. Letting students know this is important because email creation sites usually endorse very long and complicated passwords, which, while important, can be difficult to remember for people new to signing up to accounts and technology in general. A compact but strong password that's unique to you but not known to others, while also including some symbols and numbers, is generally the way to go. For here we have a nice password that is memorable to any staff using the TLG Training Vids account, and it is also strong using different symbols and has a fair amount of characters involved. Once this part of the form is done, you can click the next button right down here and begin the next part of the form. This part of the form has multiple pieces of information that are necessary and some that are also non-necessary. Having a phone number and a recovery email address are optional, but they're also important to have. The month, day, and year are necessary, and having your gender is necessary. For the phone number or the recovery email address, it is asked that you at least choose one of them, if not both of them, to include. Some people do not have a recovery email address available, so the phone number is usually the best option. For this example video, we will not use any of them, but it is important to use them when creating your own. For the month and day and year, we will just include random dates, but you should include your own. For gender, it is your choice. They give multiple options. For here, we will just choose male. If you need to know why they ask for this information, there's an option right here available. And once this part of the form is complete, you are pretty much done creating your account, and you can click next to finalize the creation of the account. Right before you finish, you're going to need to read some privacy and terms. You can go through reading all of these. You can scroll down, there's more options available. Once everything is done, you can click I agree. Multiple pop-ups then appear. This one, not too important. You can click no thanks. And there's some introduction on your own email. Once the form is complete and your account is created, you're then done the creation of the email and are now able to use it freely, whether for work, communicating with others, or having a means to interact online. Letting the learner know that they can utilize plenty of other Google programs, such as Google Doc, Google Form, and Google Calendar, after creating a Gmail account, can give them more options and things to work with. You can access these by clicking the 9 black dots in the top right of the screen, right over here. Once you click this, you have a scroll menu of all these different programs previously mentioned, and you can access them to your needs. This concludes the tutorial video on how to create a Gmail account and instruct others on how to create a Gmail account for the first time. Hopefully it shows how simple the process really is, and it helps somebody trying to create the account for their very first time.